Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well these days. Unfortunately, I think many of you are not feeling so good. The market is trying to keep us upset. The entire market continued the correction, and even we call the manipulations these days. And we are seeing like 20%, 30% or even more corrections for all the altcoins. I'm not sure how many of you are still bullish, but I am. I think the market maker, the exchanges or the whales are trying to sell and convincing you to sell. So if you are panic selling, that's exactly what they want. They want you to get wrecked. They want you to lose money before they reverse the trend to the upside. So why is that? Because we have a lot of long leverages and they want the leverages to get liquidated. They are still the one who can control the market and also decide which directions the price can go so far. And also they are trying to control your mind. So when your mind is trying to tell you that you are going to sell your bags, think about this. Why you are trying to sell while the other institutions are buying the dip instead? We can see the Bitcoin ETF is showing very strong and we had a continued inflows during these days. While a lot of retail investors are trying to say that, oh, I cannot bear this correction, it's too horrible, I cannot sleep. Whenever I look at this chart, I feel panic. So that's exactly what the max pain, max gain means. If you cannot bear, if you cannot get through this max pain, you are not able to get even more gains at the end. Keep your mind fresh. Keep yourself rational. Think about the long term. Zoom out and look at the micro. Is the bullish news still around? So other than the current price is under correction, is there any other bad news? No. There are so many good news recently, and we have so many good news coming in October. And we are approaching the Q4 of 2025, one of the best quarter of the year for both traditional market and the crypto market. So why are you still fearing for? Alright, so let's jump into the technical chart. Let's look at Bitcoin, let's look at Ethereum, let's look at Cardano. So now let's look at Bitcoin for now. I want to close this MACD and stock RSI for now. We are not going to use it today. And let's bring up the bull market support band for now. Let's look at the weekly. We can see here that Bitcoin is dropping this right above this bull market support band on weekly chart. And historically, if we go to see the last cycle, whenever Bitcoin got a correction back to the bull market support band, it got a support, very strong support, and it continues the uptrend. Like here, or even here, right? So based on the historical data, we can see that Bitcoin should have a strong support or around this weekly support band, and the Bitcoin price should continue upside. But this cycle is a little bit different than last cycle because we can see there are multiple times that we're dropping below the weekly support, the bull market support band. One here, and one here. Well, not every cycle is exactly the same. So that's why we have to find the similarities instead of trying to convince yourself that every single cycle should be the same, right? So it is still possible that Bitcoin price can have a quickly drop back to this 50-week moving average, and then we are trending back up. Okay. That's possible. But I still believe the $108,000 is a very strong support line because we are seeing a lot of like resistance before, right? If we go to the daily chart, we can see this very clearly. We have one here, we have one here, support is here, and now we are hitting the support again, right? Let's look at the monthly chart, the same here, right? If we look at the monthly chart, the Bitcoin price is also touching the monthly bull market support band. So if we are looking at the previous cycle, right, we are seeing the same here. We have a strong support and bounce back to the upside whenever the Bitcoin price is touching the monthly bull market support band here, right? That's so many times happening before. So that's also convinced us that here at the current price level, Bitcoin should have a support and should have a bounce. All right, so that's Bitcoin. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance for a second, right? If we go to see the weekly chart, we are seeing that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks support above this red line 100 weekly moving average, right? So now we are trending a little bit back up. So what I'm seeing here is the Bitcoin dominance may have possibility to hit where we have the 0.6 to 0.618 Fibonacci level, the golden pocket, right? And then we will be coming back down and continue the trend for the altcoin season. All right, so that's Bitcoin dominance. Now let's look at Ethereum. If we look at this, Ethereum is moving towards this triangle for 4 years. And we have a breakout to the downside and then V-shape back to this triangle, the trend area, and then break out to the upside. What we had was a 250% or 260% of gains for this past rally, right? So we should see a meaningful correction, right? So now the Ethereum is dropping back down and towards this trend line, overall 4-year trend line, which is something we should expect and something makes sense. What I want to see is if Ethereum can stand above this overall resistance line, which is around like 4K, or even Ethereum may drop back down to its overall trend line and then back up. So if Ethereum breaks the overall trend line 4K and decided to go lower, then the next target for me is around like $3,700, which is the 4-year the upper trend line, as well as the 20-week moving average areas. If we look at the monthly, right? If we pull the bull market support band over here, Ethereum is under the correction down to this bull market support band. And if we see the last cycle, Ethereum has a lot of support and bounce back from this monthly bullish support band. One here, one here, one here, and one here. Right? The same thing on the weekly. If we go to see the weekly chart, the weekly bullish market support band was seeing the same thing from the last cycle. We have support above this weekly bull market support band multiple times, and right now we should see another support around here. If we target the price here, for the current price level of the bull market support band is around $3,700, right? That's exactly the same as the 20-week moving average. All right, then let's look at Cardano. If we look at the Cardano weekly bull market support band, we see that Cardano is hitting here, right? It's hitting exactly above this bull market support band. And if we see the last cycle as well, it's the same thing, right? Find the support here, find the support here, find the support here, find the support here. So if we see a banana zone or a parabolic move, we should see Cardano right now should find a support above this weekly bull market support band and start moving higher. Right? So let's move to the monthly chart. If we go to a monthly chart, we can see the same thing, right? In the monthly chart, the bull market support band is still as a support for the current price level. If we go to see daily, Cardano's price is hitting the same bull market support band on the daily chart. So from the daily chart, from the weekly chart, from the monthly chart, we can all see Cardano's price is hitting the bull market support band right now, which is also confirming that Cardano should see a very strong support at this current price level, and the price of Cardano should trend back up. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you in the technical chart. And as always, stay rational. Just show you one more thing before we end up this video. So for all of those subscribers and friends who are watching till the end, I want to give you the chart that I always look at myself. Let's look at Cardano chart as an example, right? So if we go to the 1 hour chart, and you will see that, oh, Cardano's price is dropping so much these days, right? It's a waterfall for the past week, coming from 94.95 cents all the way back down to 75.76 cents, which has a 20 cents wiped out, right? That's horrible. Yes, I lost so much money as well, right? My portfolio got drained a lot. Every single day I feel bad as well. But if we look at 4-hour chart right now, what we're seeing right now here is we're seeing this correction, right? We're seeing this correction. It seems like it's smaller. This correction is smaller than the previous one. So it looks like we're still better. We're still forming a higher low a couple months ago. Then let's look at the daily chart then. The current correction is such, it seems like it's such a small piece of iceberg compared to the whole correction since December 2024. And we had about 6 or 7 months of correction. And the current one seems like nothing compared to the previous one. All right, so let's look at the weekly. Let's see the price of Cardano 7 years ago, and let's see the price Cardano was at the beginning of this cycle, and we can see what the price the Cardano current at 2 cents each 7 years ago, 25 cents 3 years ago, and now we are seeing 78 cents. It looks much better, right? So no matter how many corrections we had before, we are still trending up. And we will still have a lot of gains if you are investing early. Now, if you look at this trend, can you imagine that? What's going on to be happening maybe in a couple months or maybe in a year? When Cardano will be reached $3, $5 or even more. Okay. So let's look at the monthly chart then. Are you seeing the overall trend? Okay, so I will leave it to you right now. You guys can figure out what you are going to do next. That's it for today's video. If you feel this video is helpful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.